There are just so many special Aboriginal sites in the Murray-Darling Basin. Some are obvious, some are well marked, some are still hidden. These sites can tell us so much about the past, but they can also help us to manage our land and water resources into the future. When this lake was drained in 1994, some remarkable discoveries were found. These discoveries included middens, scar trees and burial sites. The actual sites may not look impressive and you might not recognise them at first, but with the help from the local Aboriginal community, we are discovering a very rich and unique part of Aboriginal history.
In 1994 they had to do some maintenance on the outlet regulator, so to enable to do that they needed to drain the lake, and after 80 years of the lake continuously being full, they discovered lots of skeletons and stone artefacts and buildings that were here that were previously not known about. The government engaged an EIS, which is an Environmental Impact Statement, and that discovered that there were thousands and thousands of burials here, and Lake Victoria is the densest population in the country of Aboriginal culture. They found the dwellings along the bed of the lake. They actually found some structures that were shelters that were built by the Aboriginals.
Yeah, a lot of tools. We still find them. Oh, grinding stone and little axes, things like that, and spears, beds. We're still finding those things, yeah.
Well, I reckon to me it's a very significant place, Lake Victoria, you know. People lived here for thousands of years ago, you know. And we're walking out here on the land that they walked. Yeah, it would have been a good life, you know. They used to live mainly on mussels and fish and that, you know, and yeah, they've always lived near the water.
It was a meeting ground with Gerard mob. This lake wasn't this big then. It was only just a water hole. Well, that's what they used to call it, a water hole. So it used to be water in here, but it wasn't that big now the way it is now. So since they started to put these dams in, it's made them bigger. Yeah, well, we look after our sites out here, burial sites, culture and heritage. Yeah, that's all we for culture and heritage. When you find the burial, it's just laying out in the open. It's got no protection around it. So if you just leave it there, it'll just rot away, you know, with the heat and the rain on it. So it's best if we do some work on it. So that's how we got shade cloth put over it and put some sandbags over it. Yeah, they was just buried in the sand, yeah. You mostly find them up on the dunes there because it's easy digging, see? They just put them down there.
The burial sites is, you know, they're our ancestors and, you know, they're thousands of years old and they need to be protected. Like we get funding to get the young people out here, our people, to protect it, you know, do sandbagging and it, put the bags in it over them to protect them from the wind and that, horizon.
My mum was born out here, around the lake, and then her mother was out here as well living, and then her mother. So there was 3-4 generations.
I suppose when I got a bit too old to play football, I started taking interest out here then, and can't keep me away from out here now. I just love it, love coming out here.
We now have a elders council that we engage with and liaise with on a daily basis. There's 20 members of that council that give us cultural advice on how we should, how the best way to protect the culture out here.
No, I think it's managed good now. Yeah, I reckon it is. Yeah, it is. Because we look after a lot of stuff out here. All our sites are protected anyway, what we find. What we find, we protect it straight away.
The burials are that important out here, you know. And just by us helping to look after them, and they, like the white people are learning too about our history, and which is good, they helping to look after it. That's why I feel proud to be out here.